What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Radioactive. It is me, Victoria Para, joined by the co-host, I guess, with the most, Ian Eldridge. Um, this is our last episode of the season, episode 8. This is our 8th episode of the season.
Holy
So,
shit, yeah, it's kind of crazy how fast this year's been flying by, huh?
yeah. But so today we're just gonna kind of recap season 3, some of our favorite moments and interviews and episodes of the season. But to start things off today, I was just eating some fruit snacks, SpongeBob specifically, and Ian and I were just discussing what the best fruit snacks are. And the funny thing is, I never go by like flavor. It's kind of like Gatorade, right? It's like you don't say
Right.
like the actual kind of Gatorade. It's orange, blue, red. Like you go by color. So for me, that's kind of how I do fruit snacks. It's not like, oh, I love the green ones or I love the blue ones. It's I love the SpongeBob or the Scooby Doo or Lightning McQueen or Cars or like whatever. So Ian, you can start this off. Best fruit snack and why?
I mean, I gotta give it to Scooby Doo. I mean, given my background, given the history with Scooby Doo, but um, Welch's.
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm probably butchering
Nope.
that, but
Welch's.
Welch's. They've got some good fruit snacks too, like the mixed berries or just the standard berries.
Yes.
But yeah, no, those are pretty good. And then, I mean, my dad and I always grew up drinking Welch's grape juice, so I think Welch's fruit snacks kind of has a little place in my heart too.
Listen, do you guys have what were they called? Were they called like treetops? I think they were. And
Treetops.
yeah, have you ever had those?
I don't think so. I don't think
So
I have.
it's their Welch's except just a different brand. It might be a Canadian brand, I don't know, but I actually preferred those over actual Welch's. You can get them at Costco. That's where people got them. So you guys have to have them.
So
Unless
treetops are like fruit snacks, right?
yeah, pretty much. But
Okay.
they're more like a Welch than a fruit snack. Or like these, I guess. I don't know the brands of these, but yeah. So for me, I have to say Scooby Doo. It's actually really funny. So when I was younger, I had like some Hot Wheels cars, right? And the one
Yes.
Hot Wheels car I had was like a convertible, so like the top was open. And I would actually, this goes into like don't play with your food, but I play with my food anyway. So I'd take like the Scooby Doo characters and I'd like put them in the car seats. And I'd be like driving around and then like I'd eat one and then replace it. You know, that's how I enjoyed my Scooby Doo fruit snacks. Um,
No,
I
I've
have to.
100% played with my food in one fashion or another. I can't remember an example off the top of my head, but it's definitely happened on a multitude of occasions.
Listen, as far as if I'm going through like what what shape of fruit snack I like the most, I'd have to go with the Cars ones because I love Cars. But as far as just flavor, I don't know what they did to the Scooby Doo ones, but they were just out of this world amazing. The
Yeah.
Scooby Doo ones, SpongeBob, Cars. There's some I can't remember the all the other ones, but then they also had the Disney Princess ones,
Ew.
and those were disgusting. It was
Disgusting.
so gross, and everyone agreed. I don't know a single person that ever liked those. I don't know what
There
it
are a myriad of like fruit flavored snacks because it's not just fruit snacks. There's fruit by the foot, fruit roll ups, right?
You
You've
ever have
got
Gushers?
yeah, gushers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gushers are tasty. I used to be kind of like weird about them as a kid. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about
Well,
these, but
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, no, there's a lot going on, and you bite down, and it just kind of like oozes into your
Yeah.
mouth.
It was almost like popping a pimple in your mouth. That's kind of where I stood with it, and I'm like, this is just kind of weird. But
Yeah,
we like I never really got those as a snack when I was younger. It was always just the fruit snacks, fruit roll-ups, like the fruit by the foot, or just like the roll-ups that were just like the small squares. Those were really good.
do you remember? It was like a fruit snack. It came in like a little like um skinny rolled up. Uh, damn, what's the word? It's kind of like a
It was like a
it's like
tube.
a scroll, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
yeah. Fruit like
mini
those were our
scroll.
fruit roll-ups is what those were. They were like they were rolled up, but then like when you unrolled them, they were like about this big.
Yeah, like about
Yep.
this
Yep.
big as a sheet of like a small,
Yep.
like okay, look right here, about this big,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah. I was
big
gonna
as,
say they were like
right?
this, about that
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
And then they had like little tattoos and you could put them on your tongue.
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god, dude, those were the shizniz
Yeah.
back in the
See,
day.
we had I'm pretty sure this was just a Canadian thing. Dunkaroos. Did you guys have Dunkaroos?
Dunkaroos. Let me do
I'm
a
pretty
quick
sure that was
Google
just a
here.
Canadian delicacy. So Dunkaroos, for anyone watching that don't know, do you know like the cracker snack um containers?
Okay. I'm getting a very early 2000s,
Yeah.
very
So for
retro
anyone
feel
watching
here.
this, you know like the cracker snack containers where it's like you got your little like pocket for the crackers and then there's another little separate thing for the cheese, right? So
Yeah.
this is like what the Dunkaroos were, except it was like little tiny like cookie cracker kind of things. And then the little container was just like icing, pretty much is what it was. So you just like dipped your little cookie in icing. That's what it was. And they were the shit back in the day. Like that was playground currency. People
Oh
were
yeah.
like the playground currency was Dunkaroos, Gushers, and bubble tape. You guys have bubble tape in like little
What is
rolls?
bubble tape? Is
So
that
it's
edible?
yeah, it's bubble gum, but it's like in a little like they put it in this
Oh,
circle
it's like a
dispenser.
roll.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
so
yeah. We
that was
had
like playground currency back in the day.
what did we have? We had like Hubba Bubba, right?
Mhm.
The Hubba Bubba came in like that little container. You'd
Yeah.
open it up, you'd pull a little out, and then your buddy would be
Yes.
like, "Hey, can I have a piece?" And
And then
then
before you know
some,
it, you have no
it's all
more
gone.
Hubba Bubba left. It's all gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we're talking about like elementary school level snacks, right? I'm almost 26 years old, right? I'll be 26 here in July. To this very day, I still eat Uncrustables. You know what Uncrustables are?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those are a delicacy, man. I don't care how old you are. If you're packing a sack lunch to take to work, it's quick, convenient. If you need to rush through your lunch to get back to work, Uncrustables are the way to go. You just take them out of the freezer, let them thaw, and then you eat
Yep.
them.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about fruit snacks and um fruit roll-ups, all that jazz. Love it. So that was my jam back in the day. But yeah. I had one more thing to say about this topic and I can't remember what it was. But I'm sure it will come back to me.
Hell of a way to start the episode. Well,
Really
okay,
was.
so if we're talking about all these snacks and all these foods, how about soda pop? What do you think is the best soda pop of all time?
Okay, I got you beat on this, but the sad thing is you probably don't. I'm pretty sure this was just a Canadian thing. Did you guys have Chubby Pop?
Chubby pop.
Yes. Okay, I'm pull up a
No,
picture of this. So
let me see.
Chubby Pop came in like these really stubby pop bottles, okay? Like they were tiny. Here we go. Here. This is what they look like. This is Chubby Pop,
Chubby
okay?
pop. Okay, we had something very very similar
So that
to
was
this
the
right here.
shit back in the day. Like you bought them. I'm pretty sure they came in like flats. So you had like blue, orange. I think there was green, red. Like they were so good. And like if you got invited to a birthday party and there was Chubby Pop, like that was automatically like the coolest kid in the class. Like if you had Chubby
Yep.
Pop. And it was
Oh
so
yeah.
good. And to my knowledge, they were discontinuing making it, but I think they might be bringing it back, but I'm not too sure. But as a kid standpoint, Chubby Pop takes the cake for sure. Absolutely. But then if I had to have like a runner up, it's probably like you could get like the rainbow pack, like a flat of like it was root beer, mug root beer, um orange crush, grape crush, and then the cream
Yeah.
soda crush. So that was always like too, if someone had a birthday party and the parent like come out with this big flat of rainbow pop, it was like, oh my God, the best thing just happened.
Oh yeah. 100%.
What
100%. Yeah,
about
we
you?
had like a plethora of those. We had like bug juice, which wasn't really soda. It was just kind of like a fruity drink. We had the the Kool-Aid, those little Kool-Aid
The
bottles trying to
jammers,
shake off.
Kool-Aid jammers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Which
yeah.
I mean, dude, I don't know if you remember this or not, but shout out to Evan, uh old college roommate, right? I remember one morning we were still living together. This is my old college roommate, right? We had an apartment together, and I
As
came
seen in the
down.
early days of RadioActive, your apartment.
Oh yeah, no, it was. This is when we first started working together, me and you, because I remember I got the job. I was living in my apartment when you told me, "Hey, you got the part. You secured the position." So I remember we were living together, and I came downstairs one morning. It was early. It was like 6:30 in the morning. I had to get ready for work, and I opened the fridge. I lost my mind laughing. I thought it was the funniest shit in the world. He he and his really good friend, right? Really good buddy, always over at the apartment. Really nice guy, Malik, hefty set guy. Just really nice, very pleasant to talk to. But they went out and they bought, I kid you not, probably 5 to 6 cases of Kool-Aid jammers. And then they had like Capri Sun, and there was no food, no sustenance, just Kool-Aid. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was so
Dude,
funny.
you can't mess with the Kool-Aid jammers. Those are like the shit. And
Oh yeah.
like 2, 3 years ago, me and my sister, we were going to the lake and we bought this inflatable boat for myself. So it was like, I don't know, it's like just a one person boat that you just blow up and you got like two little paddles. We bought that. She had a kayak. So we loaded this thing up with snacks. So I was in this boat, and in between my legs was this big thing of like a big snack bag. And we loaded that thing with Kool-Aid jammers. We went to the store and we were like picking out all of our snacks. And it was just pretty much like if a 8-year-old went to the store and the parent was like, go pick out your school snacks. That's what it looked like. We had Kool-Aid jammers, fruit snacks, chips. Like it was just absurd the amount of like sugar we had on that boat. But we were kayaking, and you know seagulls. Okay, seagulls are a bird to not be messed with. Those things are massive, right?
Yeah.
So we're on this boat, and my sister's pulling me on the kayak. We got a rope tied in between the two, and this seagull was like 50, 60, 70 feet away, far, far away from me. And those things swim fast, and it was smelling the snacks. And this thing was coming at me, and I was freaking out because anyone that watches the show knows my fear of birds, especially this big ass bird that's almost like a flamingo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was terrifying, but I think even the bird knew that the Kool-Aid jammers and the gushers and all that is the shit, you know?
Yeah, birds are wild. It's kind of like geese, right? When I was going to school at Umsel, I mean, the geese were just everywhere, everywhere. You'd be walking around campus and they'd just be mobbing, they'd be scheming
Hmm.
and looking to start trouble.
Yep.
And I remember one day I went to go try and touch one, and from my peripheral vision, I saw another goose fly into the air and it attacked me. It attacked me. I thought I was gonna get like bitten or beaten with wings or kicked with its little waddle feet or whatever you webbed feet. I don't
Webbed
know what you
feet. Yes,
call them, but yeah, no, birds are fucking scary, dude.
they are. They're terrifying. That's why I don't go near them. I don't associate with the birds, and if they try to associate with me, I run the other way.
Yeah, run the other way.
Run the other way.
Run the other way.
Yeah. But anyway, like I had said, this is our season 3 wrap video, I guess we can call it. So we're gonna go through the season 3 things that we really liked about the season and just some of our favorite stuff. So Ian, do you wanna start things off?
Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Season 3 started with what? Cassidy and Bellamy coming on.
Yeah, I believe so.
So that was for a little bit of a backstory, a little bit of context here. The new year didn't really start off on a high note for me. It was a really, really rough start to the new year, and we had just started filming season 3 of the show. and I had broken up with my girlfriend, right? She was a guest on the show a couple of times. She was on a feature Friday. Um, and I want people watching this to understand that this woman was a big part of my life, right? She was someone I thought I was going to marry. I had a plan to propose to her at the end of this year around Christmas time. I was going to start looking for an engagement ring within a month or so. By the time this comes out, uh, it'll probably be in the time frame of where the 1 year mark would have been with me and this woman, right? March was our 1 year, and unfortunately, we broke up in January, so we never really got to experience what that was like. So radioactive. I say all of this to say radioactive was such a good support system for me on a personal level. And I know that we're not hot shit. We're not the biggest thing in the whole wide world. I like what we do. Victoria likes what we do. People who support us unconditionally, they like what we do. And at the end of the day, quick little tangent here. I'm almost done, but bear with me. I think that Radioactive has been such an incredible support system to where it just made what I was going through that much easier to kind of bear with. And I would talk about it with guests that we had on the show, and they were all so supportive, like Patrick Alante, Evan Potter, especially. Evan Potter was very insightful, very charismatic, very sympathetic. And honestly, given all of that, this might be a little selfish of me to say, really, but so far for season 3, I mean, Evan Potter is just one of those guys that can just talk and talk and talk. And I mean, he was just really sweet, and he kind of talked to me about it a little bit during the process of the interview, and it just made me feel that much better. And aside from radioactive, there are a lot of support systems that I've been um participating in. Like, I got this journal from Ruth, good friend of the show, and I write in it every day. I am in therapy. I've been taking new medication. I've been spending time with my friends and my extended family. Trying to get a Bible study started. We'll see how that goes. I haven't been very successful yet, but um, I mean, it's just baby steps. We're just taking baby steps to kind of get back on track. And again, radioactive has just been such a huge support system for me personally. So, to those of you who still watch the show, thank you for giving it the time of day. And Victoria, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Um, I just kind of wanted to go on a quick little tangent to kind of answer your question, because the start of this year really sucked. It sucked donkey ass, but I mean, I have so many friends and a very wonderful supporting family. I have an incredible extended family, and I have radioactive going for me too. So that is very, very awesome. So thank you for that.
Yeah, like there's a lot, like a couple points that I want to touch on that you kind of talked about. One being you saying how like you talked about your breakup with Patrick and Evan. And I think you did talk about with Lonnie and Desmond too, just a little bit. I
Just a
think we touched
little
on
bit,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like being Evan like offered you so much insight and stuff. Um and how he's just a great guy to talk to. Like I totally agree because when like I first met Evan, I remember, like messaging him and be like I was asking him for like music advice because I want to get into doing session guitar work and stuff at the time. And this guy literally like I barely knew him, but he was like, "Yeah, like let's hop on a Zoom call and like we'll talk one-on-one about this." And just like offer insight and any like kind of support that he can in any way. So it's just really cool that like we have built that friendship with Evan to the point where it's just like he's a guy that just like you ask him a question or ask for any advice, and even if he doesn't know the exact answer. Like he will give you pretty much everything he can think of at that time to like help, which is like super cool. Um, and so yeah, Evan, the episode with Evan was really fun, and he's just a fun guy to be around and hang out with. Like you said, he can carry any conversation, and it goes from like we started that episode talking about the Bermuda Triangle, then we went to Shiprocked, and then we talked about like the breakup stuff, and then we went from that into like marine biology trivia. And he was down for all of it, right? Like we covered
He
so many
nailed it. He
different points.
nailed the marine biology trivia. I think he
Yeah.
got every single question right, right?
He did. He almost would have got the last one wrong, but I messed it up because I missed a multiple choice. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then the Lonnie and Desmond's interview was cool too because we talked about the song that they had released, which if you didn't watch that episode, it was about a mutual friend of theirs that had passed away. So I feel like that the topic of grief and stuff doesn't get talked about as much, on the show. So, to cover that kind of aspect of like how music can help people through tough times, like that's kind of cool that we were able to cover that topic. And then my personal favorite interview of this season was with Patrick Galante. That had to
Galante.
have been one of the top coolest like interviews and coolest people that we've talked to. Because when I was doing the podcast and after I'd went to the TOT tour, I remember being like, I need to interview people from Ice Nine Kills. And it took 3 years to do so with Ricky, but that interview was even really cool. But Patrick, like, he's like one of my favorite drummers. Other than Cece, I'd have to say Cece and Patrick are my two favorite drummers. So having him come on the show, for me anyway, that was like a long time goal for to have him on the show. So it's cool to have those kind of milestone victories, I guess you can call them. When you work really hard to have someone on the show and then it actually happens. So
I mean, hey, one way to look at it too is we had Patrick Galante on, and we also had Ricky Armorello. So we have
yeah,
two members, current or not current, from Ice Nine Kills. So we got that under our belt, and I think that's
yeah.
a
Well,
really
and
neat
and so
accomplishment
quickly
too.
too. Like it was Ricky,
Yeah,
and that wasn't even like a year later. It was Patrick. It was
yep,
Ricky to end season two, and then
yep.
Patrick was like I think the second or third guest on the like this season. So
Oh, and one thing we should make note of too. I mean, we're at the end of season 3, but Instagram, our Instagram is getting a lot of foot traffic too. So I feel like we should give credit where credit is due. Our YouTube channel isn't very popping, but I tell you what, our Instagram's been taking off a little bit. There have been a few reels where we've hit like a crazy number
yeah,
of people, and I'm like, damn, I didn't think we'd ever have that many people watching what we do. That's crazy.
yeah. Like it's baby steps. Like you said, it's you might do good like on Instagram for a bit, but then for some reason it'll switch to YouTube, and then like
Yeah.
it's always this constant thing where you're doing good on one thing, and then that kind of plateaus a bit, but then you're doing good on YouTube or uh
Yeah.
stuff like that. So whether we're doing good on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, like I'm just happy to be able to continue doing this. Like
Yeah.
for people for guests to just agree to come on the show if they look at our Instagram or YouTube and they only see like, oh, they interviewed so and so and that only got like 40 views. They don't care. Like
Yeah.
freaking Ricky came on the show and it's like they didn't really care about numbers, which is cool because like it helps us and I hope in a way it helps them too, like gain new fans and followers.
Yeah. And I mean, for us, it's never been about the views or the followers, but I mean, it's hard to get people that are world renowned in this industry to come on a show where two super fans kind of run their own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to keep going though. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep doing
The
this. I feel like eventually, if we keep going and we keep working at this the way that we have, I think eventually we'll get to where we want to be.
Yeah, like the only reason like I don't want this to sound like egotistical or like selfish or anything, but the only reason I want more views and more followers is so we can get these bigger name people, right?
Yep.
Because like when you email a record label or a publicist or manager, they don't necessarily care about how good the content is. They only care about the amount of numbers that they're seeing in the video, right? Because I've
Yep.
seen people, here's a story. So back when Lilith, Czar released Created from Filth and Dust, I had emailed for shits and giggles. I'm like, I'm gonna email, see if I can get her on the show. Um, so and of course at that point, like I don't even know what my YouTube would have been at, like the radioactive page. It wasn't much, but they like agreed to like, set something up, which was really cool. But she had went on a podcast. I'm not gonna say names, but she had went on a podcast that was hosted by two members of a popular rock band, okay? And I can only watch like 5 minutes of this interview because I'm like, this is the driest, blandest, flavorless show ever that I've ever watched. But like in that instance, like they don't care, right? Like it's your name. It's like, well, you're in this popular rock band, so of course, like she'll come on and talk with you and stuff. But it was awful, like just so bland. But then people come on our show and they're like, holy shit, we like sideswipe them with so many random things and tangents. And I feel like you and me, we bring a certain flavor to interviewing and just the metal scene and stuff like that that people come on and they don't expect, right?
Yeah, that we just have
It's
fun. We
fresh.
like to have fun. We're not super serious. Like, hello, good afternoon. We're going to
Well,
be interviewing
and
you.
we're actually fans of the band, right? Like sometimes
Yeah,
people they're like a radio station is interviewing someone that they know squat about. They're just doing it because they're playing a show that night or something, right? So it's not even like they
right,
really know anything about the band. So they're just asking all the generic questions. You and me, like we know a lot about Blackfield Brides. We know a decent amount about Ice Nine Kills. So when we have people on the show, it's like, well, shit, we already know that, we already know Andy's, favorite music video or whatever. We're gonna ask him like what his favorite video game is or like what movie do you want to be in? We ask the
right.
good questions that have never been heard before. And that's I feel like that's our goal on the show is to like just stir up new conversations and keep it fresh and not be like bore our viewers being like, well, I've heard this get answered a million times already.
Yeah, I mean, we want to talk about the projects too, like albums, what they've got going on, but we also want people to understand that we're just two regular people too. We're regular people. We both work full-time jobs. We live pretty mundane lives, but when we come on here, this is the shit, right?
Yep,
This is
absolutely.
something that we're really passionate about. And not to not to kind of dredge up drama, but I got to be honest with you. The woman I broke up with at the start of the year, she wasn't very supportive of the show. And I can see that. I can see it in her mannerisms, right? I can read her body language, the way I would tell her, hey, I gotta go do something with Victoria. I'll be back in a little bit. And she'd just get all pissy with me, which it actually stirred up a fight in our relationship too, like one night. And I just remembered thinking, God, why, this is something I'm really passionate about. This is something that I really care about a lot. Why can't you just be supportive? Why do I always get the feeling that you would rather I be spending time with you?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then it makes you feel bad.
Yeah, it makes me feel bad too. But
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah. I mean, like as someone that has experienced a lot of people not being supportive of whether it's been the podcast or like playing guitar, like when I play music, uh like for a living, whatever. Um it's something where it's like it's harsh, but it's kind of a thing where it's like you just have to distance yourself from those people and you have to just keep yourself around the people that like me and Ian, we support each other, and if I'm feeling burnt out, Ian's like, well, let's take a break, or vice versa, right?
Right.
It's not like, well, if you're tired, just give up, because there's some people I know that would just say that, right? It's like
Yeah.
I might be in the mindset one week where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. It's too tiring. It's just not working, kind of thing. And instead of being like, oh no, you got this, like keep doing it, they just be like, well, go get a real job, like be
Right.
that way
No,
then.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like we work real jobs. We do this because we love it. We do this because it brings a certain spark in our lives that, we can't really find in other things. I mean, aside from, for you, it's music, right? You love playing guitar. You're in a band, free hot dogs, right? And for me, it's writing. I've been kind of focusing on other areas of writing, which is journaling, right? And it's been not just an outlet, but it's been something where I can sit down and I can say, I wrote something today. It might not have been a poem, it might not have been a story, but I wrote a journal entry describing how I'm feeling in the moment, what I've been going through in my life. And that itself is a pretty good commitment. If I keep this up, I'll have 365 pages of written word, and I think that's pretty cool. So, I mean, in short, to break down everything we've just talked about, if someone you know or love, right, is very passionate about something that's healthy, not like a sick fucking habit, right?
Yeah.
Like running over small animals on the side of the road or
Or
some
like
obscene,
snorting crack or something, it's
yeah,
not.
crack, meth. If somebody you know is passionate about something, be there for them,
Well,
support them.
and
Don't,
just leave them alone. Like,
yeah,
don't shit on them. Same with like if you like a certain band, like you don't got to go around and like shit on them. Just don't say anything. That's where
yeah,
if you got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Comes into play. If it's not hurting anybody, if it's not hurting them, leave them alone. You know,
yeah.
it's not that hard. Mind your
I
business.
mean, you can certainly not like a certain genre of music, and that's okay. But if it's not hurting anybody, who the hell cares?
Yeah, exactly. I just also want to bring up, this season, I don't know if it felt the same way for you, Ian, but for me, this season felt like super crazy, super hectic, and stuff. And I know like you and me both had, especially at the start of the year, we had a lot of stuff going on. You were dealing with some of your stuff. I was dealing with some stuff of my own. So I kind of felt like on my end, some of the episodes weren't my favorite just because like we'd be filming, but like I had so much shit going on up here. It felt like I wasn't 100% engaged in some of the episodes. So for anyone
I
watching
get it.
this, for
I
for anyone watching
literally
this,
get it.
I just want to apologize if some of the episodes were a little like, bland or something, like on my end or Ian, I thought you were fine for all the episodes, but I just noticed my mistakes.
I
But
was not fine. I was 110% not fine.
yeah,
Like, we're finally getting back into that
yeah,
stable, goofy Ian mindset, but it's been a struggle. Like, my ADHD has been out of control, but we're finally getting back to a comfortable spot. Like I said, it's just these baby steps, man, like the MRI, therapy, new medication, keeping myself occupied, doing
yeah.
things that make me happy, right? So you are not alone, Victoria. I thought you were fine. I thought you were doing great. I did not feel like I was 100% at all.
Yeah, well, I hope everyone else thought that we were just all good and it just in our heads. But actually, like we had Ruth and Nicole on the show, and like they hopped in on the Zoom chat, and like Ian and I were both just like not having
Fuck.
it, and it wasn't even like it wasn't that we are mad at Ruth or Nicole, or Ian and I were fine. It was just we had so much shit going on in our head where it was just like nothing else. Like I had no energy to do anything else. I was just there. So like they came on or whatever, and Nicole was like, are we okay? Like, are we all good? And I felt so bad. But I'm like, listen, like if you're asking if we're good, like yeah, we're good. Like I ain't mad at
Yeah, we're
nobody.
fine.
I'm
We're
not
fine.
good.
Dude, that was so funny because I remember that night we filmed with Ruth and Nicole, and I had just gotten done crying because I was
Yeah,
like, I'm finally getting the help that I need. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna be just fine, right?
yeah,
And then you were, of course, going through like all of this drama, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. There was just so much going on, and then a mix of just like we were playing a lot of shows, and it was just a lot of burnout too, and it was just enough. But I feel like now, of course, as the season's done, I'm like geared up, ready to go. So maybe we'll just take a couple weeks off and start a new season. Who knows? We'll discuss
We
after.
might. I mean, I don't know. What's your what are you thinking here? What are you
I don't know.
thinking
Well, we'll put a pin in this, and we're gonna discuss after the episode.
after the
But
episode? Okay.
yeah, like I'm ready to go. Do some more cool stuff. But even though like this season kind of felt like that, I feel like it was also a there was a lot of like important, you know, things that had happened in the season. Just one being having Ricky and Patrick kind of on the show back to back. I know Ricky was at the end of season 2, but like then Patrick came on like right away in season 3. So like I kind of felt like we were starting to get a bit more somewhere. And then, Lonnie had approached me and actually asked if it'd be okay for him and Desmond come on the show. So
Yeah.
to have be building those contacts and having people at the level of Lonnie wanting to come on the show and just to know he like genuinely enjoys coming on the show to talk about music and stuff is like really cool. And I know like I'm friends with Lonnie and stuff, but it's still like this professional environment that we try to create and just mix up professionalism and just like having fun, right?
And it's the dude who's in your favorite band of all time, which is pretty freaking sweet. And we've just said everything that we've just said, and I feel like yeah, we've had a lot of shit going on, but we've also 2024 was a great year for Radioactive.
It
It was a
was.
fantastic year for Radioactive. And I mean, yeah, 2025 we're wrapping up season 3 and there's so much more cool shit to come. Like we're changing the color of the logo, right?
I think we'll
You
discuss that after.
think?
Potentially. Stay tuned.
I mean, and we still have people who love coming on like Anthony, Chevy. We need to get Wheezy back on the show. We need to get
Yes.
Wheezy Week
Hmm.
back on the
I
show
want to
because
get
she's
Anthony
always
back
so
on the
much
show.
fun. I mean it. I mean, I did that in person interview with Anthony and Chevy, and we just had a blast. It was in St. Louis. It was in my stomping grounds. It was so much fun. It was such a fun night too, and I mean, we accomplished so much on Radioactive and in our personal lives too. Like, I'll say this, I mean, yeah, it didn't work out with me and you know, this woman that I thought I was going to marry. But dating this person taught me so much about what it means to be an adult and be a grown up, point blank, right? Taught me how to take care of somebody when they're ill. It taught me how to love and to be patient and to listen. And it taught me I might have certain setbacks mentally, but I can be in a successful relationship. Now, no relationship is perfect by any means. I'll say that too. Relationships take work. Now, should it be this much work? Should it be this difficult? No, no, it should not, right? If you feel like you're giving 100% to the person that you love and they're not reciprocating that, it's time to cut the cord, man. You got to do it for you too. At the end of the day, you got to look out for number one. And that might be selfish or egotistical to say, but I got to tell you, I mean, I am in a way better headspace in March than I was in December of 2024. I was not doing good in December. And now we're finally taking baby steps to recover. So, I mean, life sucks, but when you have shit going on like radioactive, makes things a little bit better, doesn't? Does it not?
It really does. But yeah, season 3 was really good. Ian and I will be, prepping and figuring out who we want to have on the show for season 4. So, anyone watching this, if you have a guest that we want to have on the show, drop them, in the comments, and we'll see what we can do about that. Ian, to wrap this up, I think you and me should go through a guest that we would like to have on in the next season or two, because I know who I want to have on.
Oh,
And
I
that,
know who I want to have
so
on.
recently, I have become a fan of Sleep Theory. They released a song called Static, and I've just been jamming to it. I think
Yeah,
it'd be really cool to have Sleep Theory on the show. I think that'd be really cool.
yeah, Sleep
So
Theory would be awesome. I have been on the biggest knocked loose kick for the last 2 years. So if we could get anybody from Knocked Loose on the show, I would do a backflip probably. I think that would be so fucking awesome to bring to fruition. Immure, Alpha Wolf, Fit for a King, all the
I
bands that I started listening to in college. That
yeah,
would be awesome.
I would love to see Lilith Zara back on the show when she has some music
Oh,
out. I think that's a mutual one for you and me. Let's do three. I mean, you kind of covered some, but I'd say Sleep Theory, Lilith Zara, and there's so many good people to have on, but I don't know, man. I feel like Jake Pitts or Jinx or Cece,
yeah,
another Blackfoot Brides one. I'll
yeah.
say that. I'll say Jake or Cece would be awesome.
Jake or CC. That'd be pretty cool. Jake Pitts is really nice too. They're all super nice.
Oh,
They're
they're
all
all
really,
amazing. They're
really
all
good
great.
dudes.
Yeah.
Um, so I need to get Lilith on the show, dude. I need to get Lilith because then I'd have a full band under my belt. Full band. I mean,
You
you
would.
already do,
I
but
just got mine, so super proud, super pumped. I'm very happy that I honestly couldn't ask for a better like full band lineup to complete that than the Little Star Crew. So they're all great over there. So that was a great Pokemon catch, I guess you could call it. Caught all of
yeah,
them. Um but
I
yeah,
gotcha.
the next one, I don't even know who the next like full band would be that I need to catch. I feel like the next closest is either Dark Divine or Black Veil because I've interviewed Jake Jinx and Lonnie, so that just leaves CC and Andy. Dark Divine, we've done Anthony and Robbie, so that leaves Tristan and Corey.
Tristan and Corey.
So
We
we're
did do
coming for you
Robbie.
guys.
Robbie's super cool, but we
Robbie's,
need to get the other boyos on the show.
yes,
I
definitely.
like Lee Jennings.
Oh my God,
He
I
was
love
super
Lee.
cool. He
Lee's
was
awesome. We need
super
to have Lee
cool.
back on the show. He was super cool.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
good.
There's a lot of cool
He was,
people out there. So yeah, let us know who you want to see on the show. Ian and I are pretty much down to chat with anybody in the metal rock scene, except for Lorna Shore.
oh, I like Lorna Shore.
No pig squeals here.
No pig squeals.
I'm sure they're really nice. Listen, I ain't knocking Lorna Shore. If anyone from Lorna Shore sees this, I apologize. I'm just not a fan of your music. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're really nice people.
No, but he do the lion and pig squeal. He's like, I love it. I love it. It's my
I don't,
favorite.
but that's okay. Listen, Lorna Shore, you guys are doing great. You don't need my love anyways. So you're doing great without me. You'll keep doing great without me, okay? All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching season 3. Ian and I quite enjoyed it. Stay tuned because season 4 might be coming sooner than what you think. There's potential for a new logo. There might be some fun stuff happening. I honestly don't know what's happening yet, so you're in for a treat, I guess. We're all in for a treat. So, thank you guys for checking out season 3. Subscribe to our channel if you're not. Follow us on Instagram. Follow Ian and I both. And maybe we'll follow you back. We'll see how cool your profile picture looks. If it looks lame, I'm
Yeah.
not following you back. So, uh, but yeah, thank you guys so much for checking us out. We will see you on season 4. Peace.